Yo,
What's
my
good?
bad, dude. I hella forgot you live on the other side of the
Yeah, dude,
country.
I figured it might have been something like that because I was like, I
Yeah,
know he's gonna be on point with like his timing. So
yeah,
I figured, what you are on the West Coast in LA or
yeah.
something?
Uh-huh. I live in
Yeah,
Vegas, so yeah, LA time.
yeah,
My bad,
yeah.
bro.
That's so great.
I'm always on time, but like when you hit me, I
Yeah,
was like, oh my God, I forgot.
yeah. I probably should have asked when you said 1:15 too, but
Yeah,
oh, well, it's
hell,
all good, dude. We're here now.
cool. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Like, I know you got hella shit to do, so I got a
Yeah.
list of questions that I got from people.
Okay, cool.
A lot of the same kind of questions, and I tried to like
Yeah,
filter through because I know you did a Q&A, so I went through that and I tried to take out the questions that you already answered.
yeah. Well, that was like back in the day too. So
Yeah, it was
things
like, yo, it
change.
was crazy because it was last year in December, and like to see everything like go from December to how it is now, like, yo, it's crazy, dude. Like your shit is just like
Yeah.
blowing up, man.
Yeah, I mean the internet is just a crazy platform. Like when you really start to learn things, and there's like so many things that I'm trying to get into too that just like to take it to the next step. You know what I mean? But yes, things can happen fast. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
I
So
definitely can happen fast. All right, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. One of the biggest questions was who or what is your biggest inspiration to just keep going?
to keep going, um, honestly, it's like I wouldn't say somebody else is like my biggest inspiration. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I'm sure a lot of people heard it before, but it's like when you're on your deathbed, you don't want to regret not trying something that because we only get one life, as cliche as that sounds, you know what I mean? But when you really think about it, it's like shit. Like I can be here today and gone tomorrow.
Hmm.
Like am I gonna look back on my life when it gets to that point and be happy and say that I really tried doing what I love and what I tried to do, or am I gonna regret because other people told me, oh, you can't make that a career or
Right.
whatever it is. So honestly, like it just like making sure that I know that for myself that I gave it 100%, in the time that I had on the earth
Hmm.
to try and achieve what my goals are, what I hope to get done.
Yeah.
It keeps me going every day, honestly. And another thing, talking to people like you, dude, like I've been doing these consultations, which has been awesome. Like I just had one phone call today where this kid, he literally sold plasma in order, because like, in order to get money to do a consultation. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying my consultations are that expensive, it's
Right.
$30, but like the point is that like meeting people that are that dedicated,
Hmm.
to grow and to like gain knowledge, in music and whatever it is they want to do, whether it's YouTube or anything, like meeting people from around the world that have that, that mindset, like really inspires me too. So,
Yeah.
what started out as first me hoping to help other people turned into other people, inspiring me. So, that's really what keeps me going.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. So it's the people that really the people that show you love and like tell you like, oh, we did this, just because like off of your videos, like you've inspired a huge amount of people, and like so I think it's crazy to be able to do that from just your bedroom or from wherever you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
That's what's nuts, dude. Like the year that I started my YouTube channel, like I kind of started my channel because like I had two like desk jobs lined up in Atlanta. They were going to be cool jobs, but so like my lease in Miami was coming up, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Jacksonville where my grandparents live. I'll stay with them, and then once one of these jobs comes through, I'll go up to Atlanta. But 2 weeks passed, and like neither of them came through, so I was like, yo, I need to do something. So I started my YouTube channel, and the fact that I could reach that many people from literally like a room at my grandparents' house with
Yeah.
just a camera and like internet connection was just like crazy.
yeah, man.
So yeah, it's just like being real, and like we're all human. Like no matter how many followers somebody has, whatever it is, you know what I mean. Like we all started somewhere, so it's like I never want to lose touch of that. And being able to communicate with people, like I am with you right now, is like really keeps me grounded and honed in on what the ultimate goal is.
Right. Dope. So aside from doing these consultations and obviously putting out music and continuing to put out YouTube videos, is there anything else that you're doing to like further your career right now?
Um, honestly, just having a vision of where I want to be, like next few months, next year, and then as opportunities come, just like trying to get as many opportunities as I can, like that I think will help me get, to that next point, is just like really what I'm doing. So whether it's, YouTube, producing, putting out tracks, like as an artist, my own, networking with other people, like in a couple weeks, I'm going out to LA for a few days, to work with Lakey Inspired. I'm sure you've heard of him, or, some of your viewers might follow him.
Yep.
So that's really just what it is, just like trying to take every opportunity that's presented to me, and run with it. Another one, shout out to B from Nard and B. I've been talking to him for a minute, and we might have something in the works too. So not to say too much, because you don't want to say anything until everything is like solidified.
Right.
It's just like getting to a point where you meet other people who you looked up to, and now like you get to work with them. You know what I mean? So it's like just doing all of these things and trying to just grow as a person ultimately will take you to that next point in your career. So it's not necessarily saying, all right, I need to do this, but it's just like just working, you know what I mean? And taking as many opportunities as you can. And that's really what I've been, set out to do.
Right. That's dope, dude. So I know you said you recently quit your job and you're producing full time now, which is huge because not a lot of people get to say that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I'm producing full time because I haven't even gotten my beat store up yet. That's like in the works.
Right.
Like my computer crashed not that long ago, and I was dumb enough to not have my entire computer backed up onto my hard drive. So I lost a lot of my catalog that I had been building to hopefully get that store up. So now I'm kind of back in the process of regenerating that. But yeah, that's another thing with the internet. There's so many different ways to generate revenue, so
yeah, for sure.
It's just, every little thing like that you can do, just, like if this is what you want to do, then you just try and find every opportunity to make some income and, support that, that dream.
So after leaving your job, obviously, well, right now, maybe it's not producing, but you're living, like pretty much self-employed and doing things for yourself, to get income. Are there things that you like? Do you have a routine, or do you do things to like hack yourself to like stay productive throughout the day?
Honestly, it's just when you work for yourself, like you don't have that check coming in every other week, so it's like, it's both like, it's scary in a sense, but it's also like you have this sense of freedom, where you can make as much money as you want to make. It all comes down to how hard you hustle.
Right.
So that it's kind of a mixture of both, where it's like, shit, I need to pay rent, I got to pay these bills, you know what I mean? And I don't have that check coming in every other week from a day job or a part-time job or whatever anymore. So it's like, it all comes down to, the end of the month when you see what you owe, and it's like, I got to hustle so I can get that and then some, so yeah, really when you make that step to just try and be full-time, making your own income, that's, when you feel like you're ready for that, then you're going to do what you got to do in order to make that money,
Yep, 100%, bro. So another big question that I got from people was, what do you want to be remembered as?
Honestly, like I've had this conversation with a few people, and really my ultimate goal is to just like I feel like everybody has their natural talent and what they're good at, and understanding what that is, and then, just trying to master it, whether that's ultimately what you want to do, like, whether it's music, art, sports, whatever it is. If that's what you're naturally inclined, you have that talent, ability to do, then you can use that to kind of climb that ladder to get yourself to a point where you can do bigger things than just music or just sports or whatever it is. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world where, to think that people still go to sleep hungry or without electricity, whatever it is, it's kind of mind blowing, when you consider how much like food we throw away and, it's crazy. So ultimately I like to use music to get to a point where I can impact people on a bigger level than just music itself. So in terms of what I would like to be remembered as is just, just somebody who would try to do as much as they could, to do good for the world and give back. Yeah.
For sure.
Shit, as that might sound,
No, man, it's hella real. So a while back I saw, I don't know if it was Native Instruments, the company itself, that sent you their newest like machine and keyboard, along with did they give you complete control too? Okay, so a lot of questions that I get like every day is like, what is the best like VST for a producer starting out? Like, what should they invest in? Because there's a lot of VSTs that you can get, but they don't know what's like the best for them. So if you were to give like one VST that's the best for somebody that's starting out, what do you think it would be?
You mean like for like sounds, or are you talking about like a DAW, like
yeah, just for sound, just for sounds in general.
Just for sounds, that's tough because like each VST is kind of like good for different things. You know, like Omnisphere is great. That's my go-to for like synths or like plucks or bells, stuff like that. You know, but it doesn't really have like any drums that I really use. Yeah. You know, so it's hard to say just one thing because you need multiple in order to really have that, you know, full sound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Omnisphere is awesome. Like,
would you say Omnisphere is the one that you use the most out of everything in your library?
Omnisphere?
Yeah. Would you say that is the VST that you use the most?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. So going off that, and I know you like to, because I remember you got a comment one time on somebody saying that like your music is like, I don't remember exactly what they said, it's like basic or simple or whatever it was. Yeah. But I feel like simplicity is like always like the key, dude. Like that is, I just feel like that's just the way to go. It's easy for a vocalist to come on and do their own thing. But how do you know when it's time to stop adding to the beat?
Honestly, like when you catch a vibe and it just sounds good, you know, like I was just talking to somebody about this. Is like a lot of people think that in order to make a track sound full, you've got to have just a whole bunch of sounds. But I think, and okay, like that, you know, that's producing. A lot of people are like, oh, producing is easy. You just put, you know, drum, hi-hat, snare, clap, and synths, and an 808, and then you're done. But I think like the true artistry comes in when like you can have those things, but then you start dialing back and keeping it full with like fewer tracks, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then like you said, like the vocalist really takes up a lot of space, and you want to give them space to shine within like the track. But yeah, really when you just like, you know, when you start bobbing your head and you're like, all right, this sounds good, like that's probably the point where you should just like stop and either, you know, maybe you can add, you know, just a subtle thing like that you mix in the back or whatever it is if you think you need to add something else. But once you feel like, yo, like this is ready for a vocalist, that's probably that point.
Yeah, man.
And I would say if you to see if it's too much, then probably if there's no room for a vocalist, then you got too much going on.
Do you ever feel like you overproduce records sometimes?
Nah, if anything, it's probably underproduced. But yeah, like I feel, like I said, once you get to that point where it's like you're able to just dial it back but still keep that sound sounding full, then that's like where you've reached, you know, you're going to start building your own unique sound. Like you've reached that good point, you know, where it goes from just producing a beat to like, you know, that's art.
So. I know you've been I don't know if your whole thing was to make YouTube videos, and then once you get to a certain point to release music. Was that something that was always in the back of your mind, or was it because of the demand from that one video like that you put out?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it goes back to how I said, like as you progress and different opportunities come, you just like run with it. And that's kind of what it's been a mix of, because like I knew I definitely wanted to sell beats and, you know, kind of make it a living for myself doing music. So I was like, but in order to, whether it's to sell beats or whether it's to put out your music, you know, as an artist, whatever it is, like you don't want to put something out and then have nobody hear it.
Right.
So, you know, I was really like, what can I do to start building an audience for just in general? You know, what can I do to build an audience for just music in general? And YouTube was a platform I had never tried. You know, I'd put out stuff on SoundCloud or, you know, Reverb Nation, just any random site really that I could find. And, you know, for a long time just wasn't getting any reception. So I was like, you know, I never tried YouTube. YouTube is a place where people can see you as a person and start relating to your personality and you know, those traits that you don't get just from listening to a song on SoundCloud or whatever it is. So I was like, let me give it a try. And, you know, I kind of put like my marketing mentality, like, how can I make this title or this thumbnail or whatever, like sound kind of pop out? Because I knew that was something you had to do. And that's kind of how it started. But yeah, it was just really to build an audience for when the time comes to sell beats, when the time came to put out tracks. I wanted people to hear it. I didn't want it to just fall on deaf ears.
Right. That's dope, dude. And I think that whole thumbnail title thing, a lot of people get their ego wrapped up in choosing thumbnails and titles because they don't want to look a certain way. But I feel like that's pretty much the whole, like, that is how you get people to like watch your content. It's just the thumbnail and title. Like they're basically just looking at the thumbnail and title to get reeled into your video. So like I feel like a lot of people have their ego tied up and they don't want to do certain titles that would like change their video from getting like 1,000 views to like 10,000 views. So I think that's something that you really got down, and just I don't know, I remember when I subscribed to your channel first at like I think 20,000, which was like I feel like not even that long ago.
Yeah.
But there was just something about your, like, I still can't put my finger on it of why, like, your thumbnails and titles are just really like like I can't put my head around like what is it about your videos that are so appealing? Like, do you feel like you figured that out?
I don't know, man. Like, I kind of like, I guess, honed in on like the recipe to make my videos.
Yeah.
But I mean, initially before I even put out a first video, I didn't really know what it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of just like, all right, I know I need to have like a thumbnail that people like. It's just like looking at a magazine. Like a lot of times you're just skimming through to look at pictures. You feel me? Like a lot of like, kind of like what you're touching on. A lot of people are like, oh, this looks like clickbait, blah, blah, blah. But if you have something that's eye catchy, but then the content that follows is like creates value for your viewer and like actually entertains people, then that's what's going to get people to like subscribe and like really enjoy your content. So if you've got a thumbnail that's super like, pops out, or your title is just like, crazy, as long as your content is solid, then, you're really just kind of playing it smart, like you're doing what you got to do to get people to click. Exactly. And then your content is what keeps people.
Exactly.
But yeah, for me, like in terms of, what it is that people like about my videos, I mean, I think like maybe the fact that I like add lyrics to the end or whatever it is, I just try and put it, like I try and keep my video length to a certain point where, people will still learn, people who want to learn music production, but then somebody who might just be interested in like an 80s beat being made or like, entertained by that, they're still short enough that, they won't lose their attention span, Exactly. So it's like kind of finding that right mix, that balance of, where your viewer retention and then, like how much value you can pack into those few minutes. And then over time, as you post more videos, you start to see people's comments, oh, I wish you would do this, or, make this shorter or whatever. And you kind of just start like, tweaking your recipe, like I said, for your videos. And eventually I guess you come across like a sweet spot.
Yep, for sure. All right, I got a couple more questions. One of them is, how do you know what advice to take and what advice not to take?
I think the biggest thing is just being 100% honest with yourself. And like, if you know what you have to work on, and then somebody else like kind of says, they touch on that thing that you have to work on, then obviously that's probably advice that you should take. It also has to do with like, at the end of the day, you have to have like, like your 100% self-confidence. Like you got to be real with yourself. Like, I know what I need to work on. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not the best at making beats. I know I'm not the best artist, but like these are things that you work through. So, another thing is like, who is the person giving you advice? Like, and also how is that advice given to you? Are they just like kind of like shit talking, like, or is it like constructive criticism? You know what I mean? So you kind of mix all these things together and understand, what to give, what to take,
Yep.
So yeah, even if it's somebody who's just like has zero following and they give me constructive criticism, if it's like in a way that I think, is valuable to me, then I'll take it. You know what I mean? But really it's just knowing what you need to work on yourself.
Yeah. For sure. And moving on to like the number one question that everybody asks, how do you make money as a producer? You don't have to speak on necessarily like the exact numbers, but maybe a few streams of income that you have, just so people can see how realistic this career path really is.
Yeah, so starting off, it's going to be like you'll probably be like struggling a bit when you say forget this full-time job or part-time job. Let me do this on your own. But you can get yourself to a point where like you're good, month to month. Like you're making enough income where you can do it on your own. But I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there's so many different ways to make revenue online. Like with YouTube, you connect it to an AdSense account and you make ad revenue. If you have a website, you can use Google AdWords, and you can still, whether you want to or not, you can have people run ads on your website, which you end up keeping more of the ad revenue than running ads on YouTube, because YouTube isn't getting a cut. That's directly through your website. Amazon affiliate marketing. I don't know if you've heard of that one. That's like I put links in the descriptions of all my videos, and if somebody buys say somebody's interested in like my speakers, they click on the link to the speaker, but then they go up and buy a TV that has your code within their window, and you get a percentage of it. What else? I mean, like I'm doing consultations right now. You know what I mean? That's another one, and obviously selling beats. Like I haven't gotten to that yet, but as long as you're good with your marketing when it comes to selling beats, like you don't even have to have the best beats ever.
Right.
Like your marketing is really like the biggest thing. Like knowing how to use email lists and incorporating them into like Facebook ads. Like Facebook knows everything about everybody. They know what video you interacted with, what advertisement you clicked on, how long you've watched it, what your interests are. So once you build an email list and start using Facebook advertising the right way, they can turn 100 emails into 2,000 emails, you know what I mean, of people who have similar interests to the ones you input. And just making sure your marketing and your advertising strategies are on point and you're creating value throughout everything that you do. It's almost like the scalability is limitless. It's the internet. Like there is no end to it.
There is no end, bro.
Like I tell people that another thing is if you do make YouTube videos, like translating your closed captions, that's just metadata for different languages. Now you're really thinking like globally as opposed to locally, and ultimately that's just going to get you an audience from different countries that might be interested in purchasing your beats too. So you just took up your target market just grew so much than just targeting the American demographic or whatever it is, English speaking. So it's just really about playing it smart and then making sure all of those revenue streams are kind of in play. Another thing a lot of people are doing is selling drum packs. As passive income, you know what I mean? You can make money while you sleep. It all comes down to how you brand yourself and how good you are at getting your product and your content out there. So
for sure,
those are just a few revenue streams that online producers
and this is all like I tell people all the time, like this is all stuff that you can find like on your own. Like you don't even have to ask literally anybody. Like you could Google, like all of this stuff is online. Like you could search up and Google. Like it's just I don't think people like want to take the time to like look for themselves. They just kind of want to somebody to tell them so that they can go and do it. But like you can literally like look up all of this stuff online. Like it's
I had nobody like I did all my due diligence was just me researching online. Like I had nobody telling me, like this is how you do an AdSense account. This is the Amazon affiliate marketing. This is like I just literally researched like passive income, like internet businesses. Like you don't even have to look at just like how a producer online runs their business. You can look at how an online blogger or any other business that is just really good at marketing and branding themselves. And you can take all these like cues from different online businesses and see how you can incorporate that with your own. So it's like the same thing with like building your YouTube channel, whether it's thumbnails, titles, whatever. If you see a vlogger who has nothing to do with music, but they're really good at thumbnails, they're really good at their metadata is strong, their titles are good. You just take all these ideas and just make them your own, and that's really how you just learn,
you gotta put in the work to like figure it out. Like you gotta just like you gotta study other people and take it and use it for yourself. Like I just feel like a lot of people don't want to put in the time and like the effort to like really like grow something for themselves, because it's hard, but like if you really want to like do this for yourself, like of course it's gonna be hard, but you got to put in the work to make it work. So
whether you're investing your money or you're investing your time, like you got to invest something. And however much you give, usually get back a little more. So if you want to give a lot of time, it'll usually pay off. You know?
For sure.
So
100%. Well, that's all the questions I got for you, bro. Again, I'm sorry that I forgot to think about the time difference. I can't wait to hear what you, because I know you said you're gonna link up with Lakey in a couple of days, so I can't wait to hear what you guys do. That should be super dope.
I'm linking up with Lakey, and December 5th, I'm heading out to LA.
Nice.
Some of you guys out there out in the area might be spotted out there. And then, like I said, shout out to B from Nard and B. Might have something in the works with him too. But man, you never know. My second song was Sunny Digital. Who knows what the third could be? You know what I mean?
Man, like, that's crazy. Second song like ever is with Sunny Digital. Like that is super. Like that's crazy to me, dude. It's
just like you keep working, and then, like I said, when opportunities come, you run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't think twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So,
thank you for everything, bro. I'm like your story and like your YouTube channel is super inspiring to me. Like just to see you grow, it's like it's really cool to watch. Like I'm watching it, like I'm literally watching you grow in front of my eyes, which is really cool. So I appreciate it, bro.
And yours as well, dude. Like your editing is awesome, man. Like every time I see like your clips on Instagram, I'm like, damn, I gotta step up my editing game. You know what I mean? Because I really slack with that.
Yeah.
I think I focus more on content as opposed to but editing, like you got that on lock.
Thank you, brother.
And I content as well, man. So it's been awesome seeing you grow too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Well, take care, brother. Have fun doing the rest of these consultations, and hope you stay productive.
Most def.
I'll
Likewise,
see you on the
man.
internet, bro.
I'll see you at the top, dude.
Peace, man.